In this topic, we'll talk about abstractions, or views. Now, views are a great technique for abstracting your table away from the application. They get in between a table and a view, and when we have a view there, the DBA can make schema changes without disturbing the application because it sees the table as it looks in the view and it doesn't see underlying changes. The thing is, there are a few caveats to be aware of, and so you want to be careful in when you use views to abstract your tables. First thing to be aware of is typically inserts and updates have limitations when they're through views. So there are ways around with triggers, but you have to be aware and you have to be careful. If you're hiding your tables from the application, you want to be sure that your application is only going to insert carefully to one table, or it's going to update one table, or that you use a stored procedure to handle all your insert and update activity. It provides another level of abstraction, and it prevents you from surfacing errors for simple types of changes the application wouldn't expect. Coordinating that stored procedure change with a table change is much easier than if you have many applications from accessing table from many places. The other issue with views is that developers start to think of them like functions or methods, and they'll nest them inside of each other. Now, while that works great with C# code or Python code, it causes confusion and no shortage of performance issues in the database. So I highly recommend when you're performing database development, you don't nest views. That doesn't mean you have to name them as views, but every developer should be aware of whether they're working against a table or a view. And if you need some new view, create that rather than nest an existing view, because that prevents you from hiding the level of abstraction and preventing you of hiding all the complexity for how these views might access multiple tables. Often we find that a table may be accessed by a view, and then we embed that in another view that accesses more tables. And eventually, when we query at the top view, we don't realize that we're accessing so many tables. Views are great abstractions. They can decouple your table from your application, but you want to be careful in how you implement them.